Hey guys, welcome to YoLo with ToLo, episode 11. And let me add my co-host and soul brother, Lonnell Williams. For those of you guys just joining us, this is our social media live talk show, where Lonnell and I, Toan, that's why it's called ToLo, go live every week. And we just talk about challenges and things that we're facing to inspire you to love the life that you live more. I see Lonnell here. Let me add you right quick. And we're getting so much better at this out of us because at first we were such a hot mess. And now we're starting to get some technology together and getting better at this. Now, Facebook is adding Lonnell. This week's topic is awesome. Every week, by the way, the topics are based on the questions that you guys ask of us. What's up?
Hey there. Oh, wait, hang on. I'm trying to get this phone back on here. Okay,
get your phone on. I was just talking about how proud I was of us with technology.
I blew it. I absolutely blew it. Let's see. I finally got. Damn. Darn. Excuse me. I finally got.
So get your stuff together,
and
boy.
When I had to hit the button to go live, everything fell apart because I don't have the stand up here that I normally have to clamp this phone on. I am so sorry, guys. All right, that's going to be a little awkward here. Let's see here.
It's all good. Just make sure you add your friends. I've already.
Okay, that means I'm going to touch the phone again. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
So this week, by the way, you guys know we usually have our producer, Dee, who's a real life producer in LA. She works in Hollywood. Usually she's producing the show and our timekeeper. But this week we have our production coordinator, Kevin, holding up the fort with time. Okay, so wipe off the sweat on your brow.
Woo, yeah.
Take a deep breath. I see you wearing your Hamilton shirt.
Yes, I went again last night.
Oh my gosh, twice? You were so lucky. We got to talk about that. I loved it so much.
3 times, but yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so anyway, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Hey, Devin. I am wonderful. I am in the nation's capital once again this evening. I was in Chicago last night, like I said, for Hamilton, and
hey, Matt.
Just fabulous. Things fabulous. So what about yourself? What's going on the West Coast?
I'm good. I'm here in San Francisco, and I just had a good day. I just love spending time with people I love. I met up with Matt and Kevin earlier to do a little bit of work. Hey, Jacqueline from the ATL. You're going to meet Jacqueline, who was one of my mentees back in the day. Now she's a reporter there. What station, Jack? Anyway, so tomorrow, I'm so excited, you guys. I am going to, hey, Matt, I'm going to see you in real life.
I know, right.
So I'll be in Atlanta tomorrow, you guys, and I'm speaking for the Asian American Journalists Association and teaching nonprofits on how to better tell their stories and get their stories in the media. So if you follow my Twitter at Toan Lam TV, you can find all the details. And if you're around, cool. Oh, Jacqueline is a reporter at Fox 5. So she will be on the panel.
At Fox 5.
Oh, were you? She's going to be on the panel.
There's a morning show that's shot there, and they were doing. She was doing the morning show for. I forgot what the show was called. Sister Circle, I think it's called.
Oh yeah, so. Sister Circle. I think they started following me, or I saw them on social somewhere. But
okay, yeah,
cool.
They're pretty awesome.
Cool. Okay, so last week we had a great show. We talked about focus and clarity, which we needed a lot of because last week you were up in the air. We went late last week. Every Wednesday we tried to go at 7 p.m. Pacific time, but it's all good, you know.
Right, because you know in my schedule I'm supposed to be anywhere at 7 p.m. But hey, Rainice. Yeah. But exactly.
You and your flight attendant schedule. So this week, and every week, by the way, the theme of the week is based upon the questions you guys ask us and you send us either via Facebook Messenger or what you guys send us on our wall. So we just look for patterns and then we go with that. So last week, it was great. Last week we talked about focus and clarity. And it's funny because I've been having a lot of conversations in real life with people about this. And we got 2 questions that we'll kind of go through later in the show and when we answer questions, we'll talk about that. But this week it's all about you 2.0 or 3.0, depending on where you are at in life. And it's all about taking the leap and creating change, personally, professionally, or spiritually. Oh, dang. Malik said something. Hey, I don't hear happy birthday to Janet.
Oh, today is the Queen Mother Janet Jackson's 52nd birthday. Yes. She's
Yes.
been on my she's on my playlist all the time. But yes, happy birthday, Demita Joe.
Do you know Janet Jackson in real life too, or?
I haven't. It's been a while, but I did used to know her back in the day.
Okay, cool. So by the way, so happy birthday, Janet. I love Janet Jackson. We are part of the rhythm. Okay, I'm not gonna start dancing, scaring people. Okay, so there are 4 segments. Generally, the segments are segment 1 is, and these are hecka janky, but
yes, I don't have mine,
no,
so I'm glad you have yours.
I know, right? So it's called segment 1, ToLo's Hot Topics, where we talk about a hot topic. We had so many to talk about this week. We'll get to that in a second. Topic 2 is something we call Dump the Hump. You see that? Where it's Wednesday, so we're helping you get through your Wednesday hump, but also just talking about life. I guess it's called hashtag Wednesday Wisdom, a lot of people use, but we just talk about getting through your challenges in life. It doesn't just have to be on Wednesdays, and how you can love the life you live more. And then this is my favorite little thought bubble one. Segment 3 bloop, is Talk to ToLo, where we talk to you live and answer your questions.
That is my favorite part, where we get to engage with the viewers and your questions and answers, because they're always awesome.
Yeah, they are. And you know what's funny is that I get DMs and texts and little messages from people that say, oh my gosh, you totally changed my perspective and shifted the way I felt after some of your conversations. Like last week I talked about in this segment, segment 3, the Talk with ToLo, we talked about how you should, we talked about moms because it was a Mother's Day theme. And I said, you know, I'm going to start recording conversations with my mom more. And then somebody was like, you know what, I started doing that. So that's really awesome. And then this is something that you and I, Lonnell, faced. Oh my God, this is a challenge we face, and we're trying to be mindful about it. There's this awesome app that we talked about last week, and I actually had the courage to try it. We'll talk about how we digitally detox. So
yeah. Or I'm not so excited about that subject.
Or kind of try to detox, right? Anyway, so okay, segment 1. Let's get to our ToLo topics. Okay, so what has been trending? If you don't know, I went to the dentist today and he didn't know what was going on because obviously he's been doing like surgeries and stuff all day. I had to get a crown put in. And so is it Yanni versus Laurel debate? Has that been blowing up? And people say it's dividing. It's a post that is divided social media, but I think it's actually kind of fragmented because there's not just dividing two things. It's like shattered. There's so many things. So
actually, I'm going to play. So basically, if you don't know what this is, it's I guess if you listen to things at a certain frequency, you might hear either the word Yanni or the word Laurel. And it's interesting because when I first heard it on the device that I was listening to, it had a lever that you could slide. And as you slid it, it would tell you, they would ask you when did the words actually switch. And the first time I heard it, I only heard Laurel, 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 Laurel. So I moved it all the way over. And at the end, and then I could hear Yanni. But then when I moved it back, all I could hear was Yanni, 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 Yanni until it almost got to the other end. But I'm going to play and see if you guys can hear and tell me what you hear.
Yeah, we'd love to know what you hear.
Laurel. Laurel.
Okay, what did you guys hear?
Laurel. Laurel.
Are you team Yeri or team Laurel?
Laurel. Laurel.
I still hear Yanni.
Yanni? I hear Yeri.
Laurel.
And then Kevin.
Yeah, like I hear like a drunken version of both, like a drunken hybrid, right? But I think it just goes to show that, you know, despite that you are hearing the same thing, you're not hearing the same thing.
Exactly.
We all internalize things differently. And that's just like a universal principle, not just for this particular exercise, but a lot of times we might hear information and you interpret it one way and I interpret it another way. Just like our television, like our news networks. They're all talking about the same subject, allegedly, supposedly, reportedly. But the spin on it, you know, the interpretation is always different. So I found it to be a very interesting exercise. How about you?
Yeah, you know what? I love how you just you got deep right quick. I heard Yeri. Kevin said he heard Laurel. Jacqueline says CBS Evening News says the clip was made for an online dictionary pronunciation, and the purpose was to record the pronunciation of Laurel. And I guess it was a student somewhere from the South or something that had it for a project, and he uploaded it on Reddit, and it blew up. But I love how you just went deep right quick. But I believe too that, you know, like when you, especially around spirituality or even giving people kind of professional advice, really, this also goes for both of those instances. I think some people really take offense to it, your advice, or, you know, what you have to say sometimes, even if it's from the best intention. And so people hear different things. So I think it's a syntax and the way you say things and the energy around how you say things are so important, you know. And one of my favorite books is The Four Agreements. And one of them is be impeccable with your word.
Be
and
impeccable
so,
with your word.
right? And so being impeccable with your word is also not just being with the word, but also the intonations. And I think it also gets really lost when you are texting.
Texting, right? Because you don't, right?
Yeah.
Am I saying good morning or am I saying good morning?
Okay.
Or
The second one had so much. I mean,
the intention, everything, the tone of it all, it's all a different language that's unspoken.
Yeah, but just be careful. One of my favorite quotes is, and it's an amalgam of a lot of quotes that I've heard with a little bit of like Toanness put into it. But I always say, be careful with your thoughts, because your thoughts become your words. And then be careful with what you say, because what you say becomes real. It manifests. Right. It causes other people to have emotions and makes people feel stuff, right? And so you have to be mindful of what you say, because it becomes reality. Like, are you saying, oh, I'll never make money doing something that I love, or I'll never change because I'm so comfortable and it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anyway if I change anything, nothing's going to change for the good. Like, you're inviting, like, your energy.
Well, you're speaking that into existence. Yeah. Of course, nothing's going to change for the good, because you keep saying nothing's going to change for the good. Of course, It's not going to. But don't be pissed off with yourself because you affirmed what you've spoken and what you thought, when you had the opportunity to change that and to plant the seed of bountifulness from the beginning. But a lot of people don't necessarily see that, because we are so busy, I think, blaming external factors. Yeah. You know, my mama did this to me, my dad did that, and the church did this, or the school did that, and the law did this. And in the whole scheme of things, that really we draw a lot of that. All of those negative experiences come to teach us. So get the lesson and move on, so you don't have to repeat that crap on a larger scale. Yeah,
and so, I love it. And you and I always say that, we say it, and we'll keep on saying it every single show. But everything is here, everybody. Everything is here to teach us something. And if we don't learn the first time, even if it's a man or a woman doing you wrong, and treating you bad, saying things that bring you down. We've all been there to some extent. But if you don't learn from it in different ways, shapes, and forms and situations, they'll keep coming back. Hey, Brianna. Hey, Lee. Anyway, two of the most positive people just popped up. I love the vibration coming out. But
don't be stubborn. Just listen to those lessons when they come the first time. Don't be like me, where it's like, my spirit told me, this is not the person for you. This is not the person for you. And then as I'm jumping out of the driveway, trying to avoid being run over by this individual, I'm still like, he loves me.
Whoa.
Don't be that fool.
Whoa. You need to write a memoir or something.
Oh, I am.
Oh, okay. That's right. You are.
A lot of that stuff is written down, but yes, I'm like, oh, child, don't be that person.
Yeah, but
do better. Learn from my mistake.
Yeah, just be mindful. And I try to, and this is a very, very elevated kind of enlightened space that I drop in and out of. But when people are nasty, sometimes it's hard to just, send them love. I was at Williams Sonoma today, and I was just texting my friend who was about to meet me. I wasn't on the phone the whole time, and she's like, stupid people on the phones. And I just wanted to, my ghetto side, because I grew up in the hood, I would want to be like, but
take out your earrings.
I know, Vaseline. But I was just sending love. Hey, Cam. So anyway, another one of my favorite topics for sure is, spirituality. So we talk about a lot about that here. But another hot topic, speaking of shade and paparazzi and craziness, is, I don't know if you've been following the royal wedding. Meghan Markle.
How can you not get away from it? If you turn on any device or phone, that's all you're inundated with. I'm just relieved for the break from Trump. So I'm like,
yeah, right.
We got a royal wedding to talk about something else.
Right, but now there's like all this drama with. Okay, so this is the thing. to me, Meghan Markle chose to be in the spotlight. She knew that her life will forever be changed because she chose to be in the public eye and marry a prince, right? Prince Harry. Um, and there's all these reports, and I don't really want to get into details of like the dad and paparazzi and him staging stuff to get rid of the paparazzi. But I just think it's such a shame when people attack, like even Trump. Like I might not be a big fan of him, but don't go after his kid. And same
Right.
thing with this. It's like, don't go after Meghan Markle's dad and the paparazzi. There's all sorts of drama around that right now.
Especially after you killed Princess Diana. Yeah, I said it. So you really, I mean, really, and
I know,
I mean,
right? It's so
that's
sad.
so
Oh my
insensitive. You would think that they would have some type of coup. I mean, I understand it's, you got to get that shot. But you don't have to stalk and harass people like that. I mean, come on, people.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. Yeah, there's a fine line between the paparazzi, and some entertainers court the paparazzi because they want exposure. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, and I think the responsibility belongs to all parties that are involved.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I chose to be in the public light, but my family member did not. So
Absolutely.
You really don't have the right to hound them, trying to dish out dirt on me.
Okay.
So I agree with that. But then some family members will sell you out if the price is right.
Yeah. I mean, fame is a hard thing because then again, it's like people come out the woodworks,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I think fame is like money. Yeah. If you are a good person before fame or money, you amass that or get that or whatever, that's what you want, then you just become a better person. If you're a bad person, then you just become an even worse person. I mean, I think.
It basically just magnifies what's already there.
Yeah.
So like you were saying, if you were awful, you're just going to be awful on a larger platform. But if you're a good person, you're just going to be a better person on it.
Yeah.
Or you're also going to be a good person with a larger platform, just more visibility into it. That's
Yeah.
really different.
So, hey, are you going to be watching this weekend?
Doesn't it come on at 4 a.m.?
I don't know, but
Knowing me, I'll probably be up.
We're going to be together, so we should watch.
I'm not setting any clocks to get up to watch, but I will do my best.
Well,
I'm sure it'll be on repeat.
We can always record it.
Yeah, that's true. Now I'll watch it at some point, but I may not watch it live. Depends. Yeah. So that'd be fun. Yeah, so we are going to be together this weekend. So finally, we're going to be in the same city, same time. What fun!
Woo-hoo! I'm so excited. Hey, Terry. Hey, Jennifer. I know. So we talked about. So this is our 11th episode of YoLo with ToLo, and we had talked about maybe doing a special episode this Sunday, maybe at 4:00 Eastern time. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be Eastern time.
Okay, because you'll finally be in Atlanta instead of traveling and flying around everywhere with your job.
So I'll be home, sweet home.
Sweet home, Atlanta. Hi, Terry. Okay, so segment 2. What is this your favorite? I don't know. I love all these segments. It's called Dump the Hump, where we drop some Wednesday wisdom for you. And this week, it was a little bit emotional for me today, because today is the anniversary of when this week last year, Forbes wrote an article about my immigrant story. And as you know, we came up kind of same background, grew up poor. I always say Po when you can't afford the OR. Well, that's what people say. And so anyway, so you can read, there's if you just Google my name, or we'll put the Forbes article here, and Forbes, you'll see 2 articles. But the recent one last year was written about my immigrant story and why my American dream is different than the dream of my parents' American dreams, because my parents are Asian. We immigrated from Vietnam, and my parents were like, doctor, lawyer, engineer. And I chose to speak for a living. They're like, doctor. And I was like, Some people are like, you the soul doctor. And I'm like, aw. But anyway, long story short, they wrote this article. And when they write an article on Forbes, the writer doesn't even know this, but they will pluck sometimes, if it resonates with whoever it is that picks it out, the quote of the day, then they will pull it. And when you go to Forbes.com, you will literally see, like, you would actually have to read it and then click next to actually get into the Forbes, the article that you want to read. And so, like the week, I think a couple weeks before, it's like Oprah, Richard Branson, Maya Angelou. And then it was like little old Toan lamb. And I was so scared to share my story because I kind of wanted just to be invisible as a kid, because I was so ashamed of being poor and all this other stuff. And the quote that they shared, it was, a quote that I'd said, and it just kind of came through me. I didn't even like plant it or like say it, but it's really all my life's work that I do now is aligned with this kind of intention. And it says we all have a unique power, and it's with that comes a responsibility for us to use it to the fullest capacity in the service of others. Because I really believe that, like when you get a new car, when you get a house, when you get a cute little like shoes, jacket, or whatever, like that's happy for a minute. And then it just like the car payment's there or it gets old and whatever. And you're like, okay, on to the next. But joy really sustains. I mean, you work with Minnie's kitchen. And I have my own nonprofit, Go Inspire Go. And so it still makes me so excited. The people that I've met, the journey that I've been on that has led me to meet you. And, some people keep saying when I tell them your story of how we met, people are like, oh, it's a coincidence. But really, it's not. Hey, Jen. Oprah says what? She told you it's not a coincidences.
There are no coincidences. Yeah. You're in the room because you were supposed to be here.
Yeah. Oh,
so
that just gives me the chills. But I just want to, my mantra is discover and use your power to help other people. And I want people, I've been doing this to several people recently who are like, oh, you should do life coaching. And I'm like, no, I just want to, I'm doing this. This is sort of my form of life coaching. But I just want to remind people, hold a space for them and hold a mirror up to them and say, you know what? You are a badass. There's only one you. There might be Oprah that people like. Some people might not like what she says. Some people rather listen to Ellen or whatever. Some people are Coke and Pepsi, Toan and Lonnell, whatever the heck. But everybody has a special power, and it's up to us to like use it. Like if you love to read and write and talk, and maybe volunteer at a school or a nonprofit that helps underprivileged children. But I just want people to know that you are amazing. You are a badass, and once you realize that and you your mantra is what?
Stand in your light.
Stand in your light.
Always
do that.
Stand in your light.
It gives other people permission to. Terry says, who's a spiritual teacher and a connector. She's amazing. Soul sister of mine. She says, coincidence is when God performs a miracle and remains anonymous.
I love that.
I know.
Very, very true. And so you need these reminders to dump the hump whenever you're in that kind of space. And for me, this week, my dump the hump was actually going to see Hamilton again because I finally had gotten that soundtrack out of my head and I'd been cleansed and then tickets became available. I went last night. Now I'm back to that whole space of obsession. But in that is inspiration because that particular project inspires me. Yeah. So it's like find something that inspires you. It doesn't have to be going to a musical. It could be going to a game. It could be writing something that puts you in that space and gives you that opportunity to reignite that fire. And you got to constantly do that, especially if you've got kids tugging on your hip, talking about mommy, daddy, I need what I want. I have, you've got to find that space and you've got to find something that's going to motivate you. Definitely. But for me this week, it was actually going to see Hamilton. That really put me back in a very
How was it different this time? See, I only seen it once because I interviewed Ari Afsar, who has an amazing story. I interviewed her for my podcast that it's called truthdaretalk.com. You can actually see the video. We went to the private bank theater in Chicago. You saw it in Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw it in Chicago, but last night I saw it in Chicago, but the first 2 times I saw it in New York.
Okay.
Amazing.
How do you get tickets to all these all the time? Huh?
I'll tell that story later. I'll tell that story on another show. But yeah.
Okay.
Well, this time, yesterday, I just got them off of Ticketmaster. But the first time, I had a little hookup.
Can you share? You can't just say that and not say anything.
That's all I'm saying.
No, okay. Well, can you just tell us a little bit? Like, what?
Okay, I'll just say that the first way that I even heard about Hamilton or really found out about it is I woke up one day and my Twitter mentions had exploded because Oprah had sent me a tweet saying, you, Lonnell, must see Hamilton.
Oh.
And so all these people were retweeting. And that was when I was like, oh, God, okay, well. Then I tried to get tickets and I couldn't. And I was like, well, I got to work some magic some kind of way. And then some magic was worked.
Oh, okay.
That's all you're getting.
Okay. Well, see, that's the thing. You're like, you always say, listen to the whispers. That was a shout. When
that was
Oprah's
a huge shout.
Okay, when Oprah's like, you need to watch Hamilton.
She's like, she said, I need to pull that tweet up. But she was like, you must see Hamilton. And yeah, she was just saying she was just raving about it. And it was random, like literally in the morning.
Yeah.
Suddenly all my mentions are going crazy. I'm like, what is she talking? What's going on with my phone? And then I saw that tweet. And then, of course, I'm trying to get tickets to Hamilton. Of course, it's sold out for 2 years. And I was like, we had to work some magic powers, some pixie dust. But now tickets are becoming available, I think, in Chicago, even in New York. I've seen that new blocks of tickets are going on sale. So don't pay those outrageous prices for them. You can start getting them now at the regular.
That's awesome.
theater
And I
prices.
really love, like, they have the Edu tour, right? It's like an educational tour where
Mm-hmm.
they all,
Eduham, I think it's
Edgeham,
called.
yeah,
They
they
bring
built,
kids in from the public schools and they all
yeah.
perform. It's just, yeah, it's
And they
just
always
so.
bring the kids. Yeah, always paying it forward. Lin-Manuel, I can't wait to interview him one day. I think we will interview him one day.
I love him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. So on to this third topic. Nicole just asked. It's funny because there's always such a flow to our conversations and the shows. Nicole Carter asked here live, "What do you do when people try to put out your light?" And you know what? It's actually our third segment is when we start talking to you live and answer questions that y'all posted. So it's Talk with ToLo time. That is so good. You want to take a stab at that first, and then I'll chime in?
Sure. I think she kind of answers the question in the question, because the key word she says is try. So when people try to put out your light, you just don't let them. You make sure they fail.
Oh.
And they will. They're going to do whatever they can to cipher your energy and your positivity for whatever reasons, because they want you to vibrate in that same space of negativity. And you just have to you have to separate yourself, whether it's emotionally, sometimes it might be physically, but it may be painful because it could be someone that's very close to you. But for me, it's just like when people try to put out my light, I'm like, bye, Felicia, good day, because I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
I'm not here for that. And
You
you just have to make up the choice.
You made a really good point, especially when they, wow, I got the chills, because you said, especially when, they're close to you or you care about them. I usually tell kids, my niece and nephew, I've told them this, I tell the youth this, and I practice this spiritual practice of when people say, try to put out my light, or people might want to say something that tries to lower my energy vibration, I'm like, you know what, that comes from a place of insecurity. I literally say that to them, or just think that in my head. It's your issue, not mine. It has nothing to do with me. The stuff that you say about me has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with you and your own insecurities. But what you said, it takes it a step deeper, because when you care about the person, that's when it really stings and hurts.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I'm not saying it's easy, but it is a challenge. But you still have to step away from it. Otherwise, you're just going to be in it. So
but how do you?
What's more important to you, that relationship or your joy?
How do you stand? Ooh, that's good. But how do you stand in your light in those circumstances when people try to put out your light?
You smile.
I know, but.
And sometimes sometimes people are like, okay, they may want to vent, or they want to say all this negative stuff, and I just don't agree. I might nod or be like, oh, okay, like nodding that I hear you, but I don't agree with you, nor am I I'm not digesting any of this toxicity.
Yes.
When you're done, I think that's how you feel, and that's okay. But this is where I'm going. Dude, I love that. Don't give them the switch.
Ooh,
Thank you, Terry. That's awesome. Yeah, you just don't give them the switch, and you have to be just conscious of that, and in that space. When they're trying to put out your light, you have to realize that's what they're trying to do. You're trying to dim my shine. No. I never use my light to illuminate darkness, darling.
Ooh.
This is all light over here.
Oh, that's so good.
Bye. So yeah, I definitely.
That is so good. Thanks, Terry. Don't give them the switch, and you have control of that. So you know what? One other thing that I do is we talk a lot about like following your heart and listening to your body. And Carolyn Mace, it's like amazing spiritual teacher. Me too. She talks about this a lot too. But essentially, when you listen to, you feel what your body's feeling, like you feel your blood boiling or your heart beating. That's when I start saying, go back to your breath, because it's pulling you out of the present moment. And so then I'm like, oh, well, I don't know if maybe you had a bad day. I'm sorry you had a bad day, but you're not going to take it out on me. And I think it's harder though when somebody you love says something harmful to you. That's really hard, because I've had people I love tell me very negative things. Like growing up, I had 2 beloved family members. I love my family, they're awesome, but there's 2 that were like, you fat, you're ugly, and so I grew up, literally, I'm 40 now, and it took me till I was 35 till I
because when you're a kid, that stuff really sticks with you. Somebody, and that's why you have to be mindful of the energy that you put out there and the words that you speak to kids. Yeah. But because the kids will hold on to that. There was a lot of stuff I held on to too. Hey, Alex. So I'm the same way. I agree with you with that. We're running out of time. This time is like flying by.
I know, right? We could talk about this all day, spirituality stuff. Okay. Digital detox. Let me take this little thing off.
This will be a quick segment.
Okay. I know, right? Okay.
I failed miserably.
If you guys have been following us, there's this app that I found, and and I told Lonnell, I texted him one night. I was like, Mute app, MUTE, and it literally puts you on blast. It sends sad face emojis. It's like it tracks how long you've been on the phone.
How many times you pick up the phone?
And
Yeah,
how often you actually like don't pick up the phone. Yeah, Alex
right.
is just joining the conversation. And you can rewatch this too if you're just joining us. But we're just in the digital detox right now. Love you too, Terry. We'll see you next time, and just continue. You can click on this and watch the rest tomorrow. Good night. No, don't go. Thank you for answering, Nicole Carter. I know, right? Terry's amazing. And I can't wait till we have the capability of bringing other people on, like video-wise, which we're working on now. But anyway, going back to this Mute app, it does put you on blast, and I told you to do it, and I didn't do it last week, so I said I would do it. And how many hours? Wait, let's just talk about the hours. Like last week, you said you were on it for 6 hours.
Yes. And the next day after that, it was 7 hours. Then it was 8 hours.
So it's not helped.
And no. I went back one day and it applauded me because I did go back. I got back to 6 hours. It set 6 hours as my goal. Now, full disclosure, I do a lot of work stuff on my phone also.
Yeah.
Social, digital stuff. So I know that I'm on the phone a lot today because I'm doing a lot of stuff. But a lot of times I'm picking it up. I'm like, no, child. You've got to put this down. So, but where I did improve is I went from picking it up every 4 minutes to every 5 minutes to like every 6 minutes. 6 minutes is the highest that I've gone. And then I've gotten as far as an hour and a half or a 2 hour break. No, today actually I was off for the phone for 3 hours today, but that's because I was taking a nap. Hey, John, my nephew's on. We went indoor parachute.
Oh yes, I saw that. You guys were like doing the air parachute, indoor parachute.
Yeah, I had so much fun. He didn't like it because he kept saying he couldn't breathe. I was like, just breathe, dude. But he was trying. When I look at the video and the picture, you can see he's trying to hold his breath. But anyway, love you, John. Go to bed.
But you know what? This is a great. Actually, isn't it funny how people join us just at the right time? Like, what a great way to digitally detox, to do experiences. I love giving experiences to people. You know, and what a great experience for you and your nephew to do that. I take my nephew and my niece, you know, out to experiences more than just buying a bunch of stuff, you know. So I'm glad you enjoyed that. I need to try indoor skydiving, I think it's called. So okay, so with me, you know what, it's sort of accurate and sort of not, because the Mute app, because you know, it said the first day I was on for 4 hours, which, you know, on and off I'm sure I was, but I also like watch videos on it, so it's not like
you're
I'm
still on your phone. You're excusing your addiction. You're like me. I know this story.
Okay, so hold up. And then sometimes, like, I'm listening to music. Like, I'm cooking, I'm listening to music. So that doesn't count, does it?
You're on your phone. Listen, when I'm working out, but I'm on my phone. I'm on the elliptical for like an hour, and I'm still listening to music, but it still counts. So.
Okay. Alex says, I've been doing a digital detox from my phone too. Way less than last week. Not sure on exactly. Let's see if I can see more. Not sure on the exact number. Well, download the Mute app. And by the way, we're not getting paid from Mute app, nothing. But we just want to hold each other accountable.
And if you find another app that does it that works better, let us know also, because I'm always open. Because Mute has made me mad, but but it's a great app. But it's put me on blast, and I'm just not here for that.
You know what? We're here every week to hold each other accountable. So this is just another tool to hold us accountable. I know.
Exactly. So, I don't have to like it, but I do have to do it. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep it. Are you gonna try to keep it? Are you
gonna
keep it as well?
I use it every day. I'm trying.
Okay, me too. I'm gonna use it every day. Speaking about detoxing, we gotta get off the phone, get off this Facebook Live. Thank you everybody for joining. Every week when you send us, we got a few messenger messages from people asking questions.
Did we read any questions from anybody? But no, we.
You know, let's go back. Hold up. Let's read these two. Let's read this real quick, okay? As we close out. So this is from Lynn via Facebook Messenger. This comes from Germany, and she says, "Hey guys, I guess my question is how to get better at failing and cope with it. I've always been a perfectionist and have high standards, so failure is out of the question. And at the end of this last year, my business folded, and since then, I've been struggling to focus on starting my next venture. I guess I'm a bit traumatized by it. Any ideas? Thanks."
Yeah, First of all, stop. You got to redefine what failure is, because it's
Mm,
it's obviously something
good.
very, very negative to you. If your
Yes.
business folded or something didn't happen the way, then whatever that experience did was
That's not your
it's to
path.
teach you, to take you and propel you to the next experience. There's always a
Yeah.
new door to open when one closes. So
Oh,
just change. For me, I would say you got to redefine that. You can't be that attached to the word failure,
oh.
because as
You know
long as
the
you're
word failure?
breathing and you're
Yeah.
fine.
Yep, absolutely. You know what failure to me means? That you were scared to do something. I had a
I'm
student,
not sure if I agree with that, but explain that to me.
and okay, let me explain. I had a student who was an elderly woman in my, I had a blogging for social good class, and she had a career in, I think, doing numbers or something, accounting or something. And she was like, you know what? I'm so excited just being around you because you seem so excited and lit up by what you do. I was never like that. It's too late. I'm like, it's not too late. You know, a new path is a different direction. That's right, Alex. So anyway, just to further elaborate and to explain, when your heart gets excited about writing or fashion or a cupcake company or making cupcakes to give to elders, whatever, and you don't do that, that is failure, because you didn't have the courage to actually get up and
Okay,
do
so
it.
you didn't honor.
But
It's kind of like not honoring your calling, or
yeah,
what
yeah,
you were given,
and
the
that's
gift that you
failure
were
to
given.
me. You're not doing.
Okay,
You're not
okay,
taking
I
steps.
can receive that. I receive that. Hey,
Okay.
Terry,
Yeah. Hey. So
I need
I
to be in
think
the gym with Terry. His body is like everything.
okay. We should do a fitness one day. Send in your fitness questions.
Yeah, Terry. Oh, and he's in Atlanta. Hey, Terry,
Oh,
what you doing this weekend?
okay. Maybe we can join. Maybe we can have some guests. I'm totally
But that
down
was
with that.
that was a great question. Great
Great.
question.
Thanks, Lynn. That's another one Matt had posted on our Facebook wall. I have a question about coaching. When do you know it is the right time to hire a coach or seek mentorship? As a solo entrepreneur, I often can spend time spinning my wheels and lose a sense of direction. So I think I'm ready for a coach to help organize my thoughts and make sure I'm always moving in the right direction. Do you have any life/business coaching recommendations? Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one. I don't particularly. I mean, I know a few coaches, but I'd have to do some research on that one. I'd have to do some research on that.
Yeah. We just had a message from Jen. We'll get to in just a second here. That's a really good question, and I think that if anytime since we're talking about change, and that's the theme today in You 2.0, anytime you're getting a stomach ache because you're going into work or you're getting sick all the time. I had a friend that's all sick all the time, right? And then she messaged me, Lonnell, a few months ago, and she was like, I've seen what you've been doing the last 10 years and how excited and happy you are and you're helping people. I just quit my job and it took me 8 years, but you were the impetus for it. And I think once you realize and you pay attention to, like you said, the whispers in terms of, you have a stomach ache, are you not regular pooping? I always like to talk about poop. I don't know why. We get real here. But whatever,
Mine is
whatever it
regular.
is, you're feeling anxiety about something, and you want to change, you have the power to say, you know what, let me take one baby step. So if you're ready for coaching, Matt, for example, start reaching out to people that in your life that have coaches, and start asking them and getting referrals. And what's funny is that when you put your intention out to the universe, you might not even have to say anything, like things come. Like that's how this show actually came about. I
Yeah,
was like,
things
you
will
know what?
they
I just want a
manifest.
free
They
flow
do.
way of conversations. Boom, and then and then this happened. That's the way my whole life works. So we talked a lot about listening to the whispers and following your gut, no matter how scared you are. So if you hate your job, okay, I understand. You might have 2 kids, you can't quit your job, but take baby steps every day. Send out a resume. Like take baby steps. And same thing with coaching. I think coaching is just like, you and I are all about therapy. We've talked about that, psychologists
Right.
or whatnot. And it's like dating. Coaching is also like dating, right? It's like you have to find the right one that works for you. So putting the intention out there and realizing it is a big first step. So I'm proud of you for doing that, Matt, and asking us. And if y'all have any coaches, that life coaches or whatnot, business coaches or an amalgam,
Send them in. Let us know.
then let us know. We'd love to know. He said, love that. I do need to put that out there. Okay? Stand in your light, boy.
Like,
That's
we better
Matt
wrap this
asking
up because we are 10 minutes over, and I can hear Dee now. She had to go to a premiere tonight, so she's not on here keeping the time.
Yeah, I know,
but
right?
Girl, I can hear her now cracking that whip.
Anyway,
We love y'all.
we love you. Thanks for watching. Oh, we're going to have a special show. Remember, 4 o'clock
4 o'clock
Eastern time Sunday.
We'll be together in the ATL
On
show.
the ATL. And I want to sit on that special chair. We'll talk about that on Sunday. Because
Okay.
I don't have many regrets, but there's a special chair that I've always wanted to sit on that you
Okay.
possess. Anyway, I'm not going to tell everybody what that is. But anyway,
Okay.
thanks you guys for watching. If you guys like what you see, please like us. Share your questions because they help shape next week's theme. So share your questions. Y'all know what to do. Just private message us. Send us something on the wall. Comment on this video, whatever it is. But share. We love you. Lonnell, love you, brother. I can't wait to see you in the ATL.
Have a good one. All right, I'll see you in the ATL.
All right, yes, Jacqueline. See you in the
Right.
ATL. Feel better. Jackson.
Thanks.
Okay, love you guys. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.